Hey everyone! You don't know me yet, but my name is Amanda and I'm here today to post my first booktube video. I'm very excited. And I decided that I would start off this channel by telling you about 5 of my all-time favorite books. This is not meant to be a definitive list by any means. These are just 5 books that I think represent who I am as a reader and so serve as a good introduction. So let's get started. One of my all-time favorite books is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. If anyone ever wanted to get to know me as a reader, this is definitely the place to start because it fills so many different boxes. I love horror, I love classics, I love gothics, and I love a good mad scientist. What strikes me about Frankenstein is that it is so groundbreaking for its time, and it continues to be groundbreaking because of its themes of responsibilities in scientific innovation and our responsibilities towards other living creatures. Although this is absolutely a dark novel and it has an incredibly dark gothic atmosphere, there's an incredible amount of pathos that really jerks your sympathy in all directions. At the bottom of everything, I think I love books about what it means to be human, and this is definitely one of the most thoughtful books on that subject that I've encountered so far. The next book that I'm going to talk to you about is actually an essay. It is The Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley. This book also ticks a few boxes for me. I love nonfiction, I love philosophy, and a little bit of memoir, which this kind of is. The Doors of Perception is about Aldous Huxley's experience with mescaline, which is the active component in peyote. For me, this book was a very spiritual experience, and I don't really want to get too deep into what that means because that's not this kind of video. This book kind of made me confront my limitations as a human being, those I can break and those I can't, and why the fact that I can't break some is okay. This is a good book if you're one of those people who's a little bit more new agey, if you want to feel this spiritual connection with the universe and all of the life in it and other people. It very much has that going on. Aldous Huxley in general I love, so you can expect a few videos about him in the future. The next book I'm going to tell you about is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters, or more generally all Sarah Waters because I love her so much. I've read all of her books except The Paying Guest, which I own, but which I really don't want to read because then I'm going to run out of books to read by her. This is a feeling that I'm sure all of you as readers have experienced. Generally speaking, I love LGBT fiction, and during this reading booktube journey, I really want to cultivate more diverse voices within my LGBT reading. That is one of my biggest goals. So if anyone wants to leave me recommendations, I would incredibly appreciate it. As far as Sarah Waters and her books go, I really love Fingersmith, as I've already mentioned, because it's a little sweet, and Tipping the Velvet because it's a little sexy, and The Little Stranger because it's a little creepy. The next book that I'm going to talk about, number 4 if you're keeping track, is Ovid's Metamorphoses. Ovid? I've heard it both ways. So like I said, I love classics and I especially love myths, and this is sort of the Bible of Roman mythology. When you see it in person, it looks very big, and in fact, it's up here somewhere. Yeah. This is my copy. It's about 600 pages of actual text, but these myths are all fairly short. They are written in poetic meter, so it doesn't take as long as you would expect to read them. This book takes all of the classic myths and it tries to arrange them into a roughly chronological and thematic storyline. So you start with the beginning of creation, then you have your typical flood myth, sort of the adventures of the gods, the Orpheus myths, the Iliad, the Aeneid, even Pythagoras. Really everything is represented in here. If you want to understand mythology, a lot of people will point you to Edith Hamilton's mythology as a starting place, but I did not find that as engaging as this one back when I first read it. Like I said, all of the myths in here are not very long, so it's very easy to pick up and put down, like a book of fairy tales, and I personally enjoyed picking up this book every night and reading a few before bedtime. The last book that I want to talk to you about is Harry Potter. Yes! Imagine a reader loving Harry Potter. It's so passé at this point. But I have to pay tribute to these books. I grew up with them and they continue to influence me daily as a reader and as a creative person. And I especially love that after all of these years, I can still have conversations with people that give me new perspectives and new meanings and new insights. And that is what I want out of my booktube journey above all else. Because as I think we all know, you can never get too much out of a book. So this has been my first booktube video. I hope that you feel you've learned a little bit about me, and I hope you're interested in getting to know more about me. I'm certainly interested in getting to know you. Talk to me down below about these books, give me recommendations. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time, and cheers! I feel like I keep going up and down, like I'm slouching and then I'm trying to sit straight, but then the camera's kind of weird with my hairline, and then I'm slouching again. So once I edit this video, it's just gonna be... Sorry about that.